Welcome back to Nintendo Switchcraft, everybody. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Pokemon Snap just a little bit. We'll also be talking about Mario Party. For some reason, Totino's Pizza Rolls. Yeah, that's right. Those stories and more on this episode of Nintendo Switchcraft. Before we get started, if you are in fact watching this on my YouTube channel over at nerdnest.tv, do me a favor. Click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, and of course, click the bell so you're notified each and every time that I post something new. And if you are listening to the podcast in your favorite podcast player, make sure you head on over to nerdnest.tv and check out the video version of the show as well. Let's jump right in and get started. I want to talk a little bit about Pokemon Snap. The game came out yesterday. I've not played it. I'm still kind of on the fence about whether or not I'm going to play this game. I was recently on the Nintendo Pals podcast, and they were super hyped about it, and they were trying to convince me to check it out. And I'm really close to leaning towards picking up the game. The thing is I mean, yes, it's essentially an on rails shooter, where you take pictures of Pokemon and you're graded on how good of a picture they are. Are they facing the camera? Are they in the right spot of the frame? How much of the Pokemon is in frame? All of that stuff leads me to believe that the game is infinitely replayable. But as far as the essential gameplay loop, I don't know that it's really appealing to me. And I never played the original one on the N64. I know that the people who have said nothing but wildly good things about it. So I don't know what my hesitation is. It's definitely the kind of game that is perfect for, just sitting back and kind of relaxing, maybe listening to a podcast or something while I'm doing it, or listening to a book on Audible. Whatever it is, I want you all to tell me why I need to be playing new Pokemon Snap, because everybody seems to be really excited for it, and I'm just kind of, I don't know. And I know not every game has to be for me, and that's totally okay. But the game is out. Um, I've been told that there are mechanics where, like, you can throw an object and, to try and guide the Pokemon to face the right direction, stuff like that. All of that sounds interesting, but not quite interesting enough for me to pull the trigger on a purchase at this point. So if you're watching this on nerdnest.tv, leave a comment down below why you are excited for new Pokemon Snap. If you're not listening to this on the YouTube channel and you just want to send me a message on Twitter, I am at RunJumpStomp on Twitter. All right, Nintendo also put out a demo for Miitopia. Now, I have not played this demo yet. It just came out, and I've been kind of swamped, so I haven't had a chance to check it out. I did download the demo, haven't tried it yet. If you have not yet downloaded the demo, the game comes out on May 21st, so you can get plenty of time to check out what the game is like before you jump in with it. Basically, Miitopia is like it's weird. It's like almost like an RPG that features Miis. Makes total sense on the Wii, which heavily featured Miis. And then they had a version of this game on the 3DS, which I guess was fairly well received. But again, this is not a game that appeals to me. Here's what they have to say about it on the official website. It says, here we go. It says, star in a hilarious adventure alongside your family and friends. Cast your friends, family, and anyone you choose in a comedy-filled adventure to bring down the face-stealing Dark Lord. Create and customize Mii characters. Now, the creating and the customizing of Mii characters has always been pretty appealing. Like, it's fun to make things. I really liked on the Wii, they had this weird game where they would say, make this character, like Ronald Reagan or, Peter Griffin, and like people would make them and then you could like vote on them. There were all of these different characters that people had made, and you could go through the list and download the Miis that other people had made. And that's really cool. But the Mii was a very essential, what's the word I'm looking for? Aspect to the Wii as a console, and it's very much not a part of the Switch. Like, yes, you can make an avatar, and that avatar can turn into like this little icon when, you know, that people see when you're online with them. But for the most part, it's kind of like a side thing. And I think that one of the reasons that the Me stuff was so popular on the Wii, well, first off, was because it was the first time you could really do that. It was so popular that Xbox kind of tried to make it their own. And but because it was so integrated with the console itself, it made a ton of sense to try and make a game around it. Where with the Switch, it's just not integrated all that well, and it doesn't quite make as much sense to me for them to focus on the Miis. Now, if the game itself is really, really good, well, then that completely changes everything. And, you know, I'll know more after I have a chance to try out the demo. But if you have played the demo and, you know, you feel one way or the other about Miitopia on the Nintendo Switch, let me know what you think, again, in the comment section down below. All right. I mentioned Totino's pizza rolls. This is a weird thing. Totino's kicks off a limited time Nintendo Switch giveaway exclusively at Walmart. So basically, if you go to Walmart and you pick up some Totino's pizza rolls, I'm not recommending that you do that because A, they're horrible for you. B, when you cook them, you are going to, you bite into lava. Like, these are little lava biscuits, as I like to refer to them. So they're going to feel like ice cold on the outside. You're going to bite into one and it's going to burn your mouth. Is that worth a Nintendo Switch? I don't know. But if you go to Walmart and you pick up some Totino's pizza rolls, you have a chance to win a, and this is the quote here, a powered up Nintendo Switch prize pack. All right. So basically, it comes with a Nintendo Switch, and it looks like it comes with Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury for the Nintendo Switch, which is an awesome game. Speaking of awesome games, let's move on and talk about a game that a lot of people were pretty unhappy with when it launched on the Nintendo Switch, and that's Mario Party. Actually, it's called Super Mario Party. And the reason that a lot of people were irritated with Super Mario Party when it came out was because Super Mario Party, the online functionality was terrible. It was really bad. If you wanted to play Super Mario Party with your friends, it was not a great experience, because one of the best things about Super Mario Party is sitting down around that board, and, you know, your characters move around the board, and then you have the mini games as part of that. That's way more fun than just mini game after mini game after mini game. And when Super Mario Party came to the Nintendo Switch, it was just the mini games that you were able to play online. No boards. There was no boards playable online. Well, coming out of nowhere, like, this is completely surprising to me. Coming out of nowhere, Nintendo on April 27th, they updated Super Mario Party. So now you can play in party mode online with your friends, which is fantastic. This should have been a thing from day one. I don't understand why it wasn't a thing from day one, but it absolutely should have been something that came with the launch of the game. The game would have been received so much better, and I think it would have sold a whole lot better as well. What I will say, well, actually, let me tell you what exactly you can do online now. So here is exactly what you can do. It says 3 modes are playable online: Mario Party, Partner Party, and Free Play, which is the mini games. This makes boards playable online for the first time, and most importantly, when playing online, all characters and boards are available regardless of in-game progress. So if you have not yet unlocked Boo as a playable character, then you can still use him when you are playing online. which I think is great because you know, a lot of people, they're really not interested in playing through and unlocking stuff. For me, I am not interested in playing through Mario Party to unlock things. I want to get right into the gameplay with other people where I get to sit down and play a board game. And for a game that launched, we just, you know, we just went through a year of pandemic where people could have been playing board games online very easily with Super Mario Party. I don't understand what took Nintendo so long. Anyway, moving on. Back to the story. You can choose friend match, which is playing with those on your friend list, or private game where lobbies are password protected. This seems to rule out random players in these expanded modes, which makes sense. Now, a lot of people are like, well, hold on. What if I just feel like sitting down and playing Mario Party and I don't care who joins me? I just want to roll some dice, play some mini games, and win against other people. I can understand why people would say that. But when you play against other people online, what tends to happen is people will start to lose, or they will get distracted and they'll have something that they have to go do. And so they'll leave. And you don't want to get halfway through a game of Mario Party and then have the randos that you're playing against leave. That's much less likely to happen when you're playing with your friends. So I think that that's a really good thing. I also, as a content creator, like a streamer, I also really like the idea of a private game because, you know, you can only have so many people on your friends list on the Nintendo Switch. I obviously, as a Nintendo podcaster, I can't add everybody that adds me as a friend. So being able to do like a private game where I can just put up a lobby and have a code that people can join, like maybe I'll do a stream at some point in the future over at the YouTube channel, nerdnest.tv, and we can all play a game of Mario Party together, which would be cool. But I like the idea that it's limiting it to friends. I mean, sure, they could have said, you know what, you have the option of playing with randos, and randos might be jerks and leave the game in the middle of it, which would be terrible for you, but you have that option. Maybe it would have been better to give people the option to do that, but I'll tell you what, I would never do it. I'm not interested in playing with the randoms. You know what I mean? All right. There's more. Up to 4 players, but if there are 2 players on one system, you can only connect with one other system. So basically, if like myself and my son sit down to play Mario Party, we can only connect to one other Nintendo Switch that also has 2 people on it. So that's how it's going to work. Basically, you can't have 2 people on one Switch and then one person each on 2 other Switches to connect. I'm not sure why. Like, what's the reasoning behind that? Is it a technical limitation, or is it because they're afraid of people, like, I don't know, gaming the system in order to ruin somebody else's day? I'm not sure. Anyway, it also supports the invite feature on the system, and free play now allows you to play versus or co-op in 70 mini games. Now, again, I have not updated mine yet. I haven't had a chance to. It's been a pretty busy week around here. My question, and maybe you know the answer to this question, it just occurred to me as I was talking about this. My question is this game supported with the Nintendo Switch Online app? Would I be able to do voice chat with Super Mario Party with the people that I'm playing with, or would we have to get on our Discord? By the way, we do have a community Discord. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description down below of the video version. So what do you guys think? Is this enough to get you back into Super Mario Party? For me, I think that this is a great addition. What I would really like to see is a commitment from Nintendo to say, all right, we're going to put out a new board or a new board every 2 months or something for people to buy as DLC. $5 for a new board, and maybe some new mini games or stuff like that. I think that would be really, really cool. Now, if they did that, you run the risk of bifurcating the market, where you know, there are people who have the new boards and there's people who don't have the new boards. And how does that work? Like, how do you determine if you can play on this person's board if you don't have it? The way that I think is the best solution is that if one person in the group has board A, then everybody could play on board A as long as that person is playing. I think that that would work really, really well. And it's not like Nintendo hasn't done things like that before. You go back to the 3DS, and the 3DS had some cartridges had this mode where if one person had the game, they could share it with other 3DSs nearby, and you could all play together. And it was like a slimmed down version, and you had to wait for the information to download from one 3DS to the other. But it was a really cool feature. And I would really like to see Super Mario Party just continually become a games as a service kind of game where it's continually updated with new boards and new mini games, and you can buy that stuff as DLC. And if anybody in your group has that DLC, you can all play it together. I think that that would definitely make Nintendo a lot of money. All right, let's talk real quick about a game that is basically getting delayed. This is coming to us from the official Fall Guys website. And basically, Xbox and Switch has a delay. There is cross-play incoming. If you don't know what Fall Guys is, it's this really interesting. I haven't played it myself. My son has it. But it's this really interesting game where it's almost like a battle royale kind of game. And you have all of these little mini games, and you want to try and be the last. I think they're called beans in the game, but you want to be like the last bean standing as you navigate some weird obstacles. Here's what they have to say. Since day one, we've been dreaming and scheming about ways to make Fall Guys as awesome as it can possibly be. There's a bunch of additions and features we've long felt could elevate our beans to the next level that just haven't been possible yet. Top of our want list has been crossplay. As you probably know, Mediatonic recently became part of the Epic Games family. This is something we're super thrilled about, as it now gives our team access to a whole host of new tools to enhance the experience of those who are down with the crown. That means money. Gives them a whole bunch of new money to spend on making their game better. Anyway, from the Blunderdome vets to the first-time stumblers, no matter where you play. Now, with so many new opportunities in our hands, we realize that our previously announced summer 2021 Switch and Xbox release schedule is unfortunately just too soon for us to include all the tasty new features we're working on. So they are going to be delaying that, but that they're also going to be doing crossplay. So I could be playing on an Xbox, you could be playing on a Switch, somebody else could be playing on Steam, and somebody else could be playing on a PlayStation, and we could all be in the same game. And that's fantastic. Anytime a game allows people to play on their platform of choice, but also be able to play with others easily, that's always a good thing, in my opinion. And you always run into this issue where somebody says, well, but what's the population like on this game on this platform? Because they don't want to get the game and then find out, oh, I can't play it because nobody's ever on to play it with. So by bringing all of their audiences together into one big pool of people to match together, that's great. And I think that this is a really good thing. Now, my only trepidation is because the Nintendo Switch is so much lower in power than the other platforms, you would probably end up playing at a lower frame rate. Now, for a game like, I'll say Fortnite, that's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal in Fortnite. You're at a lower frame rate. It's harder for you to hit your target. But for a game like Fall Guys, I don't know that that's anywhere near as big of a deal as it would be for a game, like a shooter battle royale game. Anyway, I love the idea that this is now going to be a cross-play game. And if you're waiting for it to come to the Switch, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. But it seems like that's okay. It seems like that's not that big of a deal. All right, let's lightning around the rest of this stuff so we can get out of here. Ni no Kuni 2 has been rated by the ESRB. We don't know when that's coming out. It hasn't actually been announced yet, but it's now been rated, which usually means pretty soon. R-Type Final 2 is now released on the Nintendo Switch. I have not yet played this. I was a big fan. If you don't know what R-Type is, it's an old school bullet hell shooter, and now they're making R-Type Final 2, basically bringing a new modern version of the game, and it's going to be cool. I'm excited for it. I love the old R-Type games, so I'm assuming that this is going to be awesome too. Fingers crossed. And lastly, before we get out of here, there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember where it is. So I guess that's going to have to be it for this episode of Nintendo Switch. Oh gosh, now I remember. Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter recently got its update. There's going to be some like cross play stuff between Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Heroes. Shoot, what is that game? The one with the where you ride the monsters instead of kill the monsters. It's kind of like Pokemon, but for Monster Hunter. That game just went out of my brain, and I can't remember what it is. Anyway, if you have both games, they're going to like have some crossover save file functionality, which unlocks some extra stuff for you, which is cool. I'm not really interested in the Pokemon Monster Hunter game. I'm much more interested in more Monster Hunter Rise stuff. They added a bunch of new monsters. They added in like layered armor sets, so you can have one look but other stats. And I have to say, I'm still completely obsessed with Monster Hunter Rise. I'm playing it every chance that I actually get, which, you know, this week hasn't been nearly as much as I'd like, but that game is great. And anytime that we're getting more content from Capcom for that, I am all for it. That's it for this episode of Nintendo Switchcraft. Thank you so much for listening or watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.